Hey y'all, Kelly aka Broken Carnivore. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I have been on the carnivore diet for over 335 days. I feel phenomenal. My body is getting stronger. I'm feeling younger. The inches are slowly coming off. I started over a year ago. I was at a 46 to 44 to 46 waist pants. I am down to 40 to 30, almost going into 38. I went from a 3X to right now 2X, but I'm thinking that won't be long that I will be shrinking down into a 1X shirt. I have lost almost 70 pounds, but I still have 60 more to go to make it to my target weight. But that's not what I'm focusing on. And even though that I have been overweight most of my life, but the main thing that I was dealing with and why I decided to go to carnivore besides to lose weight was I had chronic inflammation. And that's what leads to today's video is I wanted to share some advice to you if you're starting the carnivore diet or if you're thinking about starting a carnivore diet, because this could really help you to achieve your goals and to stay on it, and no matter what, not to give up. So I'm going to give you the first advice. What is your why? What is your why? Whatever it is, chronic inflammation, heart disease, you're got type 2 diabetes, you want to reverse it, you're overweight, obesity, want to lose weight, whatever your why is. You can have multiple whys. I had multiple whys. One of them was to lose weight, but my primary why that I'm focusing on, because I'm noticing phenomenal changes now, being close to 1 year on carnivore, is chronic inflammation, because I was dealing with that a lot. Especially, I am a maintenance supervisor. I work at an apartment complex in Columbia, Missouri, and we have 6 buildings, and 2 or 4 of the buildings has 2 sections, and 3 floors, and the other 2 had 3 sections and 3 floors, and we have 165 units. And this time of year we get busy, you're on your feet, we have to go up and down stairs and dump pans and stuff like that. And being chronically inflamed, especially my right hip, my left knee, and not only that, my left foot. And then of course, with my right hip being chronically inflamed and not functioning right, I always wanted to tend to put my weight on the left foot. Well, I was damaging it, and the inflammation was getting into that. So just this last month, I noticed huge changes. I noticed that I'm feeling stronger. I was telling my mother, the last softball game my daughter played, I said, man, I'm starting to feel younger. And this time last year, she was out walking me. She's 76 this year, 75. She was out walking me last year. I shouldn't be out walked by my mother that's 75. But this year, I had no problem. I was out walking both her and my daughter. And that's a phenomenal change that I have noticed. So yes, whatever your why is, want to know what's your why, because on the next advice I was going to give you, you want to write that what is your why very first, and that is a journal. You want to make a journal. Make a journal so you can track your progress. You can look back. And the first thing you want to do is put what is your why. Why do you want to deal with the carnivore diet? Why do you want to start the carnivore diet? And also, especially if you're overweight, make sure you write your weight, write your blood pressure, write what you eat. Because if you noticing that you have a weight gain and you're like discouraged, you can look back and see your progress, because you don't want to go by this number on the scales. Go by your measurements, because you may be at a state where, like where I'm at, my weight, when I started, it dropped quite a bit, but from February till now, it has slowed down quite a bit. Now I may have to do something different to shift, but that's okay. I'm just not focusing on my why. But go by your measurements, because you may be losing inches even though you're not losing any weight pounds. But also you got to remember, if you're exercising, you also got to remember you're now moving more, you're gaining muscle mass. Muscle mass is heavier than fat. So yes, the journal is very important, especially if you're dealing with chronic inflammation of any kind, because say if something flares up, or you have like a skin rash or something that you were dealing with, like psoriasis or eczema, you know that flared up somehow, then you can look back and say, oh, I put some spices in, I got to take them out. So it's pretty important to do that. So the journal is important, that way you can keep track and record stuff. So the next one is this one here. You need to commit for 30 days. You want to commit for 30 days. Don't try it for a week, because if you try it for a week, you may get discouraged and say, oh, it's not working, because sometimes it takes at least 30 days to know any changes in your body, because sometimes, you know, a week you may notice some changes, but it takes at least 30 days for the human body really notice some phenomenal changes. But and that way, you know, okay, it's working, I'm starting to change, and maybe I'll keep on going. So it's best to keep it for 30 days. Most everybody that's in the carnivore community will tell you that commit to 30 days, because that's when you're really noticing the changes and the non-scale benefits. So my next advice to recommend is to keep it simple. Don't go, because you know, if you're coming off of carbs and sugars and stuff like that, or if you were dealing with a food addiction, you want to start out, keep it simple. You know you're gonna miss the breads and the donuts and all that stuff, but the thing is you're starting and you want to change. And right now, don't focus on trying to find carnivore recipes for carnivore bread or pancakes and stuff like that. Just keep it simple. Do the beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. There's many different ways you can make it beef, butter, bacon, eggs. And you do not have to eat like a king. You don't have to, you know, you may see people eating steak and stuff. A lot of people don't eat steak all the time. Sometimes we be eating ground beef and chuck roast. It's actually fairly affordable. If you go and eat a lot of steak, it's going to get expensive. But if you stay affordable, especially if you're on a budget, you can just do beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. You can pick up bacon at Aldi for $4.29 most areas. There's areas that's going to be more expensive, like Alaska, and maybe some other areas in the cities. But most generally, you can pick up bacon between $4 to $6 a package or a pound. So just keep it simple, because that way you don't have to worry about because if you get where you're trying to look for recipes and stuff, you're just going to get burned out, and it takes a lot of time, because this day and age we are in a busy time. So keep it simple. And that's why my next advice I would give you is don't track your calories. Don't try to do a calorie deficit. This is a good recommendation that goes throughout the whole community, and it is to eat until you're comfortably stuffed. You want to make sure you get enough your calories in. You want to make sure you get enough fat. You want to make sure you get enough protein in there, especially the fat. You want to make sure 70 to 80% of your calories come from fat, because fat is our primary fuel. Fat's what fuel. Protein is, we need it to strengthen and go to our muscles, but fat is our primary fuel. That's why we have the hormone called insulin that our pancreas creates when we do eat. Everything from our carbs and stuff that we put in, that's sugar, it has to turn into fat to be stored on our body. If you don't have insulin, you can't turn to sugar and you will have issues. So it is very important to make sure you are comfortably stuffed. Don't starve yourself. Eat until you're stuffed. Don't eat until you're hungry. You may eat in the morning when you wake up, eat you a good breakfast, and if you feel full coming through lunchtime, don't eat until you are hungry. And that's sometimes way you'll realize that, whoa, carnivore is more affordable because you're not eating as much. Before, you be eating all the time. So make sure you eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Now, my next one is you want to make sure, hold on, you want to make sure you get a good electrolyte in, because when you start this carnivore diet and you get into it, you are going to start depleting your minerals that you're in your body, because before you are holding all those in there. So the best thing to do is get you a good electrolyte. I use the Element Raw, and the reason I use the Raws because I've been doing it for a year. There are many different other electrolytes out there, brands out there is good. You just make sure you get a good quality one. Do not go to Walmart or the dollar store and get you Gatorade or Powerade. That is nothing but pure sugar, pure garbage, pure chemicals. That's the reason why we don't want those. That you're just basically defeating the purpose of why you want to be on the carnivore diet. So make sure you get a good quality electrolyte. And then, struggles are real, food addictions are real. I am a sugar addict. I am a former sugar addict, and I can't just have just a little bit. I want more. Even if I try to, I know I made this, out of pork rinds, and I put a little cream in it and put a little bit of, the Lanco monk fruit erythritol, just have a little bit. I noticed in that I have to stay away from it, because when you have to admit that you are an addict, a sugar addict, or any addict of kind, and when you know that and you admit that, the struggles will get a little easier. But food addiction is real. The struggles are real. People will fall off. And the one thing I recommend, if you do cheat, you do fall off, and you start feeling bad and you start getting down on yourself, don't. Just get right back up. Just, okay, I cheated, I messed up, I'm getting right back on. Now, I haven't went off and ate regular carbs and anything like that. The only thing I would have is just a little bit of bread during communion at church. But other than that, I have never fallen off and ate. But like with the sweetener, no matter what, you got to make sure you be careful, because if you are an addict, you'll want more and you want more, and it's not going to be enough. So I had to get rid of it. I had to stop that, because I'm here. This is why I'm overweight. This is why I have chronic inflammation, besides the other habits I had in the past, like smoking and tobacco. But still, I had to get rid of it. It was a struggle, and I realized that I can't do this. So it leads me to my last advice I recommend when you're starting and you're on the carnivore diet. Find a community. Find a community out there that will help you. There are many of them out there. I'm part of Healing Humanity. It is about $30 a month. It's a really good community. There are many other ones out there, and also I think there's SBG, that's Steak and Butter Gal. I think Dr. Berry has one. But if you're a lower income, you're on a budget, and you can't afford, you got to have everything for what you need, your funds and your income for, to will help you provide for your family. There are many free ones on Facebook. Carnivore Quest. I'm part of the Carnivore Quest community on Facebook. There's Carnivore for Christ on Facebook. And there's another one that I am part of called Kilt's Mighty Tribe. It is free. Just go to drkilts.com or look up Kilt's Mighty Tribe and join. It's free. They have a live, the Dr. Kilts have a morning 6 a.m. meetup, 6 a.m. Eastern time. So it would be 5 a.m. my time. You can go there, ask any questions. There are two doctors there. Dr. Kilts is a fertility doctor, and Dr. Nelson. Both shares their story. Both shares that the carnivore diet can do to heal them. And I know Dr. Nelson is working on doing coaching sessions, and It's a great community. They have not only Alia, but they also have a special guest speaker who comes on. And if you have any questions, just put QQQ in the comments and they will glad to answer them. So those are my advices I recommend. And I wanted to share these with you because it helped me and it can help you. So if you found this video helpful and useful and you liked it, you liked the content of it, please give a thumbs up and comment down below. Even if you just say hi, more likes it get, the more comments, YouTube will get this video content out, and I would love to, because it will get this channel to grow, and also it will spread the message out about a proper human diet. And then I also help to grow. If you would I have the link down below. If you would go and buy me a coffee, it will help grow this channel. All those funds will go to this channel to help it grow. And so that leads me to the end of this video, and I'm going to read to you 1 Peter 5:8. Be serious, be alert. Your adversary, the devil, is prowling around like a roaring lion, looking for anyone he can devour. Resist him and be firm in the faith, knowing that the same suffering are being experienced by your fellow believers throughout the world. And likewise, always be kind, be positive, have a good attitude, and encourage and support one another. You'll have a great day. God bless.